can I ask you a question? What do you think of this hairstyle? Have you seen,
The Schwalbe?
the Schwalbe?
Yeah, it's gross.
We were just talking
Just
about the
making fun
mullet.
of that guy. That guy has got a mullet.
Business in the front, party in the rear.
It's a mullet. It's horrible.
So what type of people do you think would have this style?
Rock stars?
People that go to Motley Crue concerts.
Well, I just saw Martina Navratilova recently, and I thought her hair looked similar to that.
A lot of country western.
You see your bikers, your everyday mojo, you know, just working.
In 1995, Grand Royal magazine published Making Sense of the Mullet, a multi-article expose on the hairstyle that is short in the front and long in the back. This cut's been getting a lot of attention lately. Over the past few years, there's been newspaper and magazine articles, dozens of websites, even a book.
It would seem that everybody has an opinion about this hairstyle and the people who wear it.
Most of the comments I've heard is, you know, short hair in the front, long hair in the back. Why don't they make a decision?
I guess my hair's kind of a, I don't want to say a babe magnet kind of thing. I mean, I would get in trouble if I said that.
I don't like the mullet. I try not to give the mullet. It's an ugly haircut.
It's one thing to go way out of fashion. I mean, like, and it's one thing to be, you know, just a little bit out of fashion. And I think that that's where I'm at, and if I'm out of fashion, that's cool. That's okay with me.
People love to talk about the mullet, but who is talking to the people with the mullet cut? And that is just what we aim to do. So come with us on our search for the mullet. Let's see what we find.
What do I think my haircut says about me? I have no idea. I've never given it any serious thought. I guess I like long hair, but I can't make a commitment to it. I like short hair, but I don't want to look military. Yeah, most hairstyles, like I say, are a commitment to one style or another. This one does blend two styles. I feel that a lot of personal appearance choices are an extension of one's personality. A lot of them are a flag to other people to say, hey, this is me, this is who I am. Love it, don't love it, talk to me, leave me alone. Yeah, it's definitely it's a statement. People make assumptions about me based on my overall appearance, and they're frequently incorrect. A lot of people assume that, you know, maybe I didn't finish 8th grade and what have you. I actually went to college.
What about other people's reactions to your hairstyle? Have you had any comments?
I've had one guy tell me it was a lesbian hairstyle. Which, you know, I'm cool with that. I like women.
Your hair, it's just so much who you are. It is important to me. I mean, I feel like I'm a unique person. So I would like to have a hairstyle that's representative of that. I work out, and when I have the top off the Jeep, it basically keeps it out of my face and from being a tangled nest. I think it does give me a sense of self and a certain uniqueness, and that's part of who I am. I'm so much more, though, than my hair.
I'm Ina Alperin, Nancy Alperin's mother.
Well, I know my mother's never really liked it.
It's too bad you have to film this mess.
She always tells me it's too short on the sides. If you could just let it grow out a little bit on the side, then she'd be happy. Of course, then it'd be her hairstyle and not mine.
My name? Well, I guess I sure do remember when I first saw her. I was horrified. I thought, well, this is awful. What's with the shaved sides? And, but meanwhile, as I say, this was Nancy, and I've known Nancy all her life, so there are things about her you have to accept because Nancy is her own person. She marches to her own drummer.
I think the best thing my family did for me was all my life, they just let me be who I wanted to be. Well, I'm thankful for them for instilling that in me, that independence. I've been independent all my life, maybe to their chagrin, a little too independent.
Once in a while, I'll say to Jan, the hairdresser, well, why don't you tell her to let it grow a little? And, but it's not up to Jan.
Nancy's mom says that the haircut is way too short. I think if she would let the sides even grow out a little bit, she'd be happier with it. She can't buy me off or anything, but she would like to, you know, maybe we can convince her, like a teamwork thing. But I kind of feel if somebody wants the haircut, you should do it to the best that the haircut should look.
I think Jan kind of goes along with it. Of course, the other two, Joseph and Jean, absolutely refuse to do that type of thing.
Well, Jan's a very accepting person, and if someone wants something, she's more than willing to give it to them. I think her personal opinion is she doesn't really like the hairstyle, and I know we've discussed it, and she doesn't know how to talk someone out of it.
I think anytime you get such a vast dichotomy of 1 inch on top and 6 feet in the length, there's just no way that that's ever going to balance out. I mean, it's, you know, and it's not about hair being even, it's about balance. And if it doesn't balance, it just doesn't work.
I know Nancy, and I like Nancy, but she knows I don't like her haircut. She knows I don't. It's an ugly haircut. I have no idea why it got started, but it should definitely be ended.
I like rock and roll. I've always liked music, and a couple of my friends were in bands back in New York, and their hairstyle was like this, so I mostly got it from them, and I get complimented a lot on it. A lot of people think I'm in a band. A lot of people have told me I look like rock and roll stars, Pat Benatar, Joan Jett. I was at an Eagles concert one time. Somebody came running up to me, and I had a baseball hat on, and they're going, "I know you, you're famous. Who are you? You play in a..." I said, "I'm not," and my brother was with me, and he goes, "It's Joan Jett." And the guy didn't know what to say or do. It just makes me feel good, and I like the idea of people stopping me and telling me they like my hair and saying I look like someone in a band, and it makes me feel good.
Sitting in a roadhouse, sipping on a beer.
Best thing that's happened to me, having this hairstyle, being able to impersonate Billy Ray Cyrus. I think I made the decision after about 5,000 people told me that I looked like Billy Ray Cyrus. People from all walks of life would say, "Has anybody ever told you that you look like Billy Ray Cyrus?" And I'd play it off and go, a couple people. My hair is a big part of me because, like I said, I have had this hairstyle before I saw Billy Ray.
One night closed and a one that's on the door.
My brother came to the house one night and he says, "You have to see this." And I said, "Well, what is it?" He says, "Look at this guy." I look at the guy and I says, "Okay, that's nice." He says, "No, look at the guy." I said, "Who is this?" From the high top tennis shoes, the hair, the whole 9 yards. And it was like, this is weird, you know. And then actually went to go see him in concert and got backstage. And I think that's what really set it off. Because it was like we kind of bonded kind of thing. Like he's going, "Wow, somebody looks like me." And I'm going, "Wow, you're real." It was just a really neat experience. And then 1992, the place we're in right now had a Romeo look-alike with Billy Ray and Dolly Parton. When I walked in, people just like the sea parted. People were like, "Holy Toledo, man." They're like, "You got this thing won." You felt famous every time you came in here. And then actually winning, it was kind of euphoric. Winning this competition, it's like, man, out of all these guys, now I'm going to Dollywood. Never flown in a plane in my life. I'm going to fly to Tennessee for the first time. It was awesome. It was a great feeling.
Actually, very country. I see a lot of country out here.
I'd say the biggest group of individuals with long hairstyles would be the country music, more than even rock stars now.
When rock and roll died in '92 and grunge took over, the artists like Richard Marx and Michael Bolton, that adult contemporary style had to go somewhere. because that died also. And so I think they kind of incorporated it into country music, and not only did they incorporate it in the sound, they incorporated the look too of those adult contemporary artists. My name is Sam McCaslin. I work as a DJ at Sam's Town Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada, in a country environment where I play country music. Not that it's my favorite. Everybody knows I'm a metal fan. Make sure I get that. I like my hairstyle because I think the whole 80s culture was about having fun. I mean, at least back then, those people had a positive message, and if the positive message was getting out and getting laid, hey man, hey, that works for me. You know, it certainly doesn't say that now. The bands that were popular during my time were Bon Jovi in Europe, and gosh, there was lots of Winger, Slaughter, and I'm still from the same school of, you know, big show, flashy clothes, and big hair. I think there's a lot of country music fans that are still stuck in the early 90s or whenever, and are just don't want to change their look. I don't know why, but that's like saying, why wouldn't I change my look? I won't change my look because it's me, man. It's the symbol of where I come from, and I'm not ashamed of it. This is actually really strange, and a lot of people who hear this probably think I'm really messed up. But I think that the type of women who like guys with long hair have like a secret desire to be with another woman, and maybe have a little have a little lesbian tendencies. Because I know that sounds crazy, but I really believe that. I don't know, maybe they have these hidden desires and they don't want to act on it, and so they'll go for a guy with long hair. Now I could be completely off the mark, but that's what I think, and I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if I'm right. Nobody take a poll of America or something.
I absolutely think it's a lesbian haircut because it's always my hair that gives me away. Because I have long nails and I wear makeup all the time, and people always think that I'm straight. They just assume that I'm straight.
Yeah,
it's always the hair that gives it away, though. It's a dyke cut. It's the lesbian cut. It's butch.
It's just easy to take care of, and it's kind of butch, kind of femme.
I don't like that hairstyle because it looks like a mud flap.
Not symmetrically balanced.
It's a little bit of macho kind of hairstyle because it's short on top, so it's very atypical for a woman to have such short hair. So I think just being different and standing out would be a reason why lesbians like it.
I've seen it on a lot of lesbians. You know, that's one of the reasons I wear it, is because I've seen it around.
I do feel like my hairstyle is part of my identity.
Hair is definitely a political statement, and not that I could look at myself and go, what statement am I making, but look at the whole history of hair, especially for a minority group.
My name's Tanya Hamidi, and this is Jody Shore. We are both graduates of UC Davis. We're going to present a paper to you tonight called The Sholo Showdown, The Do's and Don'ts of Lesbian Chic. This is something that we presented at a conference in Chicago and did some community research, which we'll tell you more about, and so now we're bringing it back to the community. I'm an interdisciplinary scholar, and I study lesbian style. And I noticed that this cut sort of endured. Mm-hmm. And it's not a cut that was necessarily appropriated, you know, by like kind of the capital machine, you know. And a lot of times when looks and style are appropriated by the capital machine, it changes its meaning. At some point, perhaps, everyone starts wearing it, and then all of a sudden it doesn't become a community cut or have meaning. This is not a cut that really sort of was enduring that capitalist battle. So I was really interested in the idea of something that is perceived as a hugely, and this is, you know, not my term, but an ugly look. Our paper takes up what we think is an interesting challenge, to make a connection between the significance of hair and lesbians. The haircut's distinctive feature is that the top of the head and the sides are cropped short, spiked or buzzed, while the hair in the back remains long. The sholo, for short in the front, long in the back, is one name for the cut.
Listening to the showdown, I felt kind of like maybe I was out of date with my hairstyle. I think some of the comments I heard were like bad haircut, out of date, and probably some other not very flattering remarks. as I said before, I wasn't sure if my haircut really fell into that category, and I guess it does. So I don't know. I don't really worry too much about what other people think.
Some of the names we've heard from lesbians that responded to our survey were the schlong, mud flaps, the mullet, Mexican gangbanger.
The reason I let my hair grow was because I was getting very tired of being called sir. I had my hair very short in the back and about the same on top. And it was actually kind of embarrassing being called sir. And also, as I've gotten older, become more comfortable with letting more of a feminine side show. So I felt like letting it grow would look nice. I could still keep it short on top and maintain, I guess, more of like an independent kind of, attitude or appearance.
I mean, it is a pretty bad haircut, and you have to admit. But but if you hate it, you hate it, and if you love it, you love it, and if you love to hate it, you love to hate it, and it's just kind of like. But I think everyone recognizes the significance of the mullet. Had the site since I'd say going on a year and a half. I really don't know. I get 2 million page views a month now, so it's like probably in the tens, 20s, millions of people who have visited my website. I'm a writer, and so I want people to read my writing, and I'm a photographer, and I want people to see my photography. I don't want people to know who I am, know anything about me, because it's totally irrelevant. I don't have to put, no one knows what I look like, and I don't know any of the people on my site, and I don't know where they live. I don't know anything about them. I'm just looking at the pictures and writing. It's more fun if I just kind of make up things about the people, and then I don't know, maybe I should go talk to them, and that's probably what I'm gonna do on my film, is talk to the people about whatever, I don't know. But I think commentary is more creative and more fun. It's just kind of like a fantasy thing in it, and I think it'll hurt people less if you just kind of make up this, that's not them, obviously. No one's gonna be living in a porta potty and doing the safety dance when people shit on them, which is the mullet of the week last week was. The majority of the mullets are usually the white trash folk, which is a derogatory term, but it's the only term that I know of that you can describe these kind of people. They live in trailers, and they beat their wives, blah blah blah, standard stuff you see in the news all the time. And then it goes to the badass weightlifters. A lot of weightlifters have them, and they're obviously not white trash if they're having gym card and shit and they're lifting weights, right? So I'm sorry, I'm just perpetuating stereotypes here.
Sometimes I'm it's pretty impressive that they even can manage to wake up in the morning and look in the mirror and they have that haircut, comb it and style it and just deal with everyday life.
But now it's so many people see it that I started feeling guilty about making fun of these people, and I realized that my responsibility has changed too. I can't I don't really want to ever water anything down because I don't believe in that. But I'm gonna start changing the direction a little bit, because I've kind of felt bad about that. People email me and say oh, we make fun of this guy at school because he has a mullet, and that's not cool. You know what I'm saying? It's I hope people that have a mullet are will wear it with pride, and this is them. What it comes down to is just a strange phenomenon that's a worldwide thing. I don't really know what to make of it.
I've seen the websites. In a discussion group on one of the websites I'm on, they had a whole discussion about how horrible the mullet is on lesbians, and I'm sitting here thinking, should I confess or not? And I chickened out and didn't confess. But people poke fun for a variety of reasons, and some of it's kind of innocuous and fun, and some of it is just kind of mean, and for whatever reasons, you can't, it's not really kosher anymore to poke fun at somebody's sexuality or poke fun at somebody's class status. So, they're going to poke fun at something that maybe symbolizes that. Hair is just such an individual mode of expression. I mean, and I think my haircut really is an expression not just of my sexuality, but also is an expression of my transgenderism, really. meaning transcending gender as a category, period. One of the reasons I love the mullet is because it's you know, in a way it's kind of a genderless haircut. We need to talk about, well, what does it mean to be male and female? All of a sudden the biological imperatives have changed. Medicine has changed that. You know, it's easy now to change your gender. It costs a lot of money, it's painful, but you can do it. There are those of us who are out, clear out on the edge of the boundaries, who are just blowing this all up. What I really like to do is just like invert everything, just blow everything out of the water, just say, you know, gender is nothing. Gender is chaos theory. People get very violent. You know, I think a lot of homophobia in this country is not about sexuality, it's about gender. If I want to influence other people, I want to shock them, or I want to make them think, or I want to, you know, I want them to watch a, you know, a very kind of clean-cut American-looking marching band walk down the street and then realize they're all homosexuals, just queer as all hell, and that makes them think, because there's this, you know, there's this conflict going on in their mind, and that's one of the reasons I wear my hair this way, because it's not fashionable and it screws with people's ideas.
A lot of mullets think in a certain way, and it's more of like a narrow scope of thinking. It's just like, bam, this is what I am, this is what I'm doing, and they kind of are blind to the outside world.
I like to just pursue like taking pictures of them or just like checking them out, see how their attitude is towards life. We go out looking for them on purpose sometimes. Like, I don't make fun of it. I just take pictures like nonchalantly, just like, you know, because I have a small little camera. You know, it's like if you were to go out and hunt deer, you know, you sit in the woods. You have to be quiet about it. And you can't like act on it and go like grab them and be like, you have a mullet, you know? Like,
so it is like hunting.
It is like, it's hunting. I've never really hunted anything myself because I'm not like an animal killer or anything, but just to take a picture of it and just have that in your files is like interesting, because I will put it in my portfolio that I have taken pictures of certain people without their permission. I do it anyways, because it's like, you have no right to say that upon me because I'm my own person, you know?
I guess it doesn't really matter if somebody takes your picture without your permission, because it's happening 24 hours a day now. It happens everywhere you go. If they put it on the internet, so what? If they put it on the internet in a slanderous format, that's a problem.
Long hair takes work, takes commitment, takes time. You know, what's that say to all those kooks out there that think that this haircut is, you know, a no-work hippie or white trash? It takes a bit of commitment to have a long hank of hair on your head.
Yeah. For a while I had the mullet style. You know, I mean, the person that says white trash, there's a person who is living under the impression that he or she is better than some other person.
I'd have to think that somebody who thought that kind of stuff has got a pretty small brain. I don't know what people assume about me. Didn't really think about it. Never really. I mean, the only time that ever makes any difference to me is business relationships. We're developing a motorcycle safety item, but you know, when you go meet with people, you need to, in these meetings, you need to come off as somebody who is credible, intelligent, and you know, not a kook.
We're going to have a company that. Tell me about it. We're going to have manufactured a light that will be mounted on the back of a motorcycle. The idea is that at night, the light shines on the rider so that the rider can be seen at night from a distance. Because really, I think it's important that it gets out there. A lot of lives are going to be saved, basically, to put it bluntly.
And if this venture starts us off well, you know, if we can be successful in this, we have other safety products for motorcycles that we plan on bringing out onto the market too. Well, I don't think that my hairstyle is going to affect business relationships, because when they walk in and see me just like you're looking at me right here, you don't know how long my hair is, now do you? But hey, when I made a business arrangement with my mind, not my hairdo.
Oh, I think it looks cool. I like it. Yeah, I like it.
Gotta be the worst haircut.
Either cut it or don't cut it. Go all the way or don't go all the way. But you gotta make up your fucking mind.
Okay, my plumber used to have the hairdo. I made him sit down in my chair and I cut it off.
My haircut says I'm a strong woman. Because you have to have some sort of personality to wear your hair like this.
Oh, we made fun of it. We've joked around about it. We've been, there's been pictures, stuff from the website.
What I do with my hair is I try to find things that don't go together. And so, or I try to find something that's really ugly. Like a lot of the clothes that I buy, I find and I think that's really ugly, I like it. Same with the mullet, it's not typically an attractive sort of hairstyle. I don't know, I almost feel like people that have mullets are trying not to look attractive. I'm Belinda Johnston, Pinky Mullet, PM for short, some people call me Pinky. This is Captain Culture. This is my alter ego from when I was at art school. I have a suit. Sometimes I just make appearances just in the streets if I had a few drinks. I was there to save art and culture from being kept in galleries and kept away from the people that should be enjoying it. I like doing things and going out, and like if I go out to a club or something, I'll always dress up. It's always a really good way of meeting people to just totally dress up. Every time I go out, somebody will come up, or lots of people will come up and say, you look freaky or whatever. I think this haircut is totally me because, I don't know, other girls don't seem to want a mullet because it's kind of unattractive. Yeah. These are a few things that I've been collecting lately. You'll notice that it's very unattractive. I've started collecting mature women's shirts. I just like things that don't go, so I try and find the things that don't go the most. So a mullet and an old woman's shirt is the best. And this, you don't see somebody wearing a ball gown like this with a mullet, do you?
You know what mullet is? Mullet is a hairstyle, short in front and long in the back. I'm not making this up, I'm serious. We have a documentary film crew tonight. If anybody's here with the mullet hairstyle, they want to interview you later for the film.
I'm Dwayne Carmond. I'm from New Zealand. Run heavy equipment, moving dirt out here, and I race sidecars for a hobby. Basically what it was from the old sidecar days, if you go back to the early days, from when they actually had a sidecar with a person that sat in it. And it sort of developed into a racing machine from there to where it was just an 8-inch tray with a third wheel and goes around on an oval track. And the steering is actually done by both of us. I steer the wheel and actually pull from the front of the bike, and it pulls the bike around and through the corner. So it's actually both men have to have confidence in each other to bring the bike into like a racing platform. I think all hairstyles are like a little bit of someone's personality. I mean, every person has it cut a little different, and it's to suit whatever they're doing, I mean, if you go to court on a big crime or something, you want to look really smart to the judge. If you're like out the back, digging post holes, well, it doesn't really matter what you look like, does it? So it's like, here is someone's personality for sure. And you can change people's perception of that personality by the way your hair is cut, yeah.
I think he's definitely got a biker style. Almost a world wrestling style too, kind of look, doesn't he? Keeps getting shorter on top though. Keeps shaving it back, right?
I gotta talk to the barber about that.
He's a unique person, so you gotta have a unique hairdo for a unique person.
People sort of see the beard and the long hair out the back, and then when they see me down the pits, they've got used to the short on top, and so it's like become an association with the bike and the racing scene, yeah.
What do you think it is about the style that appeals to those
groups? I think it came from the Indians in the early days, is where I first, used to see it in the cowboy movies when I was knee-high to a grasshopper.
My people wore long hair. Not only did the women, but the men also. It was a distinction from tribe to tribe. You had the Mohawk, that was from the Mohawk tribe. They combed their hair a certain way. You had the Apache, where their hair was just straight down and tied around the top.
A lot of people from the tribes have hairdo like this. They usually all have it in a ponytail, just straight back in a ponytail.
I'm an Indian Chumash, and it is pretty much natural for the Indians to grow their hair long. I try to incorporate that with my haircut, but I like that little bit of a short look on the sides, because I do have a professional life as well. I work at the Chumash Casino in San Diego, California. I currently hold the position of assistant slot director. The gaming laws right now, they're pretty fair. They're allowing us to have 2,000 machines. It's about time that we're actually coming up ahead again, and our tribe is making a little bit of money and regenerating it back into our tribal people.
I think of what my ancestors would do if they were in this time. How would they wear it? When you have to deal with businesses and they're looking at you from coming from a reservation, you need to be as presentable to them as a business person. So the sides and having it short on top makes me feel better.
A lot of people like to, they expect to drive onto our reservation and see teepees and the way the Indians used to live way back when. Unfortunately, we don't live that way anymore.
I think people might think, because of my hairdo like this, I think some people might think I would be an aggressive, aggressive Indian boy, I don't know. I met a lot of friends just playing with my hair, and I mean, they'll just come up to me and say, yeah, beautiful hair, and run their fingers through my hair, and I'm like, oh, thank you.
I like the way that it's able to manage here on the sides, and then the long is still from my ancestors. That's why I keep it long.
For any Indian, really, I think it's the hair, part of their heritage just to have it pretty long.
A lot of people like my hairstyle. Some people actually want to touch it for just luck. I mean, a few people actually did win after touching the hair, but not everybody.
So what types of people have mullet cuts then?
Not highly intelligent, maybe growing up in Arkansas.
Probably work in the janitorial.
Sleeveless shirts and Camaros.
They don't work, or otherwise they wouldn't have the mullet, you know?
Unemployment's been very good for them.
Yeah.
I've been stereotyped in different groups by people, yeah, because of the hairstyle. You know, it's like, oh, that's a hippie, you don't work, and they don't realize that, you know, I've done a 15-hour day already, you know. Certain jobs require short hair, other jobs it doesn't matter. When I cut it off, I save them. My father-in-law got one for a toupee. I've been collecting them for the group called Locks of Love. It's a group that makes wigs for kids that have cancer going through chemotherapy. And when the next job says, you know, you got to cut your hair, then I'll cut this off, and I'll send about 4 of them down there. But I've had a little bit of harassment about it. Some of the rednecks are like, boy, cut that hair. And when I tell them about growing them for the kids, for cancer patients, they sort of back off a little bit, and they think it's a neat idea.
I know a couple of guys that have hair that wear it that way. Personally, I don't feel as though it's professional enough to present to a business world. If you're flipping burgers or dumping a pizza or something such as, more power to you, live your life. But I don't feel as though you may excel in the world in which we live with a style such as. It wouldn't be beneficial for an opportunistic way.
So would you ever consider growing the rest of it out there and having all of the back look?
Negative. I believe it's a little shaggy, and that gives you a look that's sort of unkept.
I'm pretty much a groomed, well-kept, I like organization in my life, so I guess I like my look to be somewhat respectable, yet a little on the wild side, so that if I'm riding a motorcycle, my hair is just blowing back, or if I'm in a cool car, it's just blowing with the breeze. Or if I'm on a boat diving down in Key West, it's just me. That's part of being one with nature, one with the universe. One of my debates is when I get out of school, do I leave my hair like this, or do I need to cut it and conform to a certain image of, you know, clean-cut professional doctor?
Okay, let's see, how many pockets do I have? 3. See, so I got this vibrate. Check for a vibratory sensation. This is a reflex hammer. That's self-explanatory. Prescription pad. OB wheel, so if you have an OB patient, you want to see how many weeks I can't believe the junk I carry in here. The patients who like me, I tend to actually attract some younger patients, people who were really hippies in the 60s, and so they think it's really cool to have a doctor like this. My other huge population are older women, and older I mean 70s or 80s, who just love my hair, and I think they come to me just because of my hair. You know, I think you're going to choose out the job that fits your style. You know, I probably wouldn't be a die-hard surgeon. I'm a informal family practice doc.
I definitely think that drag personas are an extension of who we are as people. Like the breakdancing and the having a schlong or mullet, as you call it. I always called it a schlong because it's a short long. Originally, I think I chose the mullet just kind of as a reference to the 80s. Then, like, the more I thought about it and the more I wore the mullet, the more I actually came to totally love and admire anyone who can do it and pull it off and, like, have pride in it. Like, nobody really has mullets anymore, and the people who do, like, I don't think that they're clueless. I think that they know that they're, like, it. About a year ago, a little over a year ago, it was just this show, like a drag king show, and I wanted to do it just because I was kind of bored, so I was like, oh, that would be fun. And so I came up with this idea to do a breakdancer, because I did breakdance in, like, 5th grade. So I came up with this persona, Electro, and did it at a contest, and then it went over pretty well, and someone got my name and I went on the Maury Povich show. And it was kind of funny because at first they didn't want me to do Electro because it was they wanted me to be more passing, and it was too obvious that Electro was a drag king because they thought, you know, no guy really looks like that. Which totally offended me because I was like, oh my God, any guy who really looks like this is actually my hero, because Electro has a tail, you know, and sometimes he has a full mullet and other times just a tail. And it's just really cool, you know? And I think that my first reaction before I ever started, like, doing drag and involving a mullet was like, oh my God, you poor thing. Like, don't you know? But then once I thought about it and started kind of doing it and thinking about it more, I was like, right on. And I went to a car show and I saw more mullets there, and I just loved it. Like, it was definitely like father-son mullet, and those people know, you know, like, they go to the car show and they're like, yeah, like, that's their like ground. That's where, like, I'm like, they're like, what are you doing? You're like, don't you know you look like a freak? You know, whereas in the rest of the world, people might react that way to them.
The first time I ever went to a barber was when I was 3, and I had only started to grow the back of my hair. It was only about this long.
He had this wild curly hair that you could never comb. And he always had this bed head in the back of his head, but they were these little ringlets that were really beautiful. And we were sort of done having fits of hair combing in the morning, so we took him to the barber. And
the barber asked, do you want this cut off? And my mom said, no, don't.
He was sitting in the chair, and all these little golden locks were falling down around the floor, and they had cut like half his head. And I didn't realize it was going to be an emotional experience for me. And I was like, that's all his baby hair, you know, that means he's going to be like, that part's gone. And I felt like I wasn't quite ready to let go of the little Marco that I knew. And I said, wait, stop. Stop right there. I can't go on with this. And so she said, how about if I just leave a tail in the back?
And this color here, this is your original...
That's hair that I had when I was 2 months old.
What do you think would happen if you said to your mom, I want to cut my hair short all over?
She'd probably go crazy.
For a while I was really attached to it, and I didn't want him to cut it. But at this point, it's completely his decision.
So if he said, I want to cut it off, you wouldn't really have a fit?
Not anymore. There was a point when I would have.
Would you ever want to cut your hair short?
I don't think so.
What do you like most about your relationship with your parents?
I think it's that they really supported me in whatever I do. Like, if I asked to do something that they probably wouldn't approve with. Well, not like smoking or anything, but like a sport or anything that I think they wouldn't approve with. They usually are really supportive in it, even though they probably don't really want me to do it.
How often do you see this haircut in your salon?
I have many customers, they like this style. It's very popular in this salon. They make their own style. They say short from here, medium here, and long at the back and layers. Special from Mexico, Yucatán.
¿De dónde eres?
Yucatán.
¿De Yucatán?
Sí, soy de Yucatán. Porque le gustan andar con los pelos largos en México, en Yucatán, porque le encantan. Sí, le encantan pelo largo.
People in Yucatán just love long hair. Why he doesn't know, but they love it.
¿Quién sabe? A lo mejor porque les gusta. A lo mejor tiene más pegue.
Oh, with that hair, Latinos have more cachet. Women like them more.
Women's like the hair, long hair. Most people, I mean, especially women, ask me that he love my hair, and they try to, I mean, to touch my hair. Now I got 2 girlfriends.
Es una mezcla, un estilo bien especial.
It's a very special mix.
Especialmente para los varones.
Especially if you're a guy.
Porque está retando al mundo.
Because you are confronting the world.
Que usualmente el hombre tiene que tener cabello corto.
Because usually men should have short hair.
Y ellos están sacando lo que ellos son y lo que ellos quieren ser.
And they are bringing up what they are or what they want to be by having long hair also. I have one of my sons who use that hairstyle.
Y mucha gente, las muchachas, especialmente las chicas, le dicen, ay, qué bonito cabello tienes.
And girls, especially, they tell him, you have a wonderful hair.
Y él les dice, me lo cuida mi mami.
And they say, my mom does it for me.
Hey! Get him! Hey, James! Vamos, gato, mete la pata! Go, go, go. Hey, go!
Soccer players have their own style. Long hair means like that somebody's watching you from the stadium. It's way up, you know. It's just to have a nice look of you, your moves, and I definitely believe that it's in the style for soccer players.
In Latin America, you know, people have a little longer hair. And the ones with long hair, it's very common to see them on any sport, especially in soccer.
It's a matter of vanity, you know. I think that when you're vain, you want to have long hair.
He's the victim of his dad. His dad wanted him to look like him.
Soccer means to me a lot, you know. It's pretty much my whole life. I grew up in an environment about soccer. I'm teaching my son the same thing. We dream with soccer, we live with soccer, we eat soccer, you know, everything is about soccer for us. I started to play soccer when I was 4 years old, and Donnie started to play basically right after he started to walk, since he was probably a year, you know, just like a baby, but basically he was doing okay at that time. What I want for him is to be just a normal kid. Be a kid first, that he has to sacrifice sometimes too much time with his friends because he has to practice. Soccer is just a short career and you have to do it if you're gonna make it. And if you can go forward, try to get in a professional team. That's what I would like for him. But it's gonna be up to him. I just can't force him to do it.
What do you want to be when you're older, when you grow up?
Which team do you want to play for?
America.
Which team is that?
America.
America.
I do rebel against injustice when it happens to other people and myself, and just, I don't know, the hair just has something to do with it. Bikers are rebellious. Rock stars are rebellious.
Everybody
Country music
has-
guys really aren't that rebellious, but I guess they must be saying something with the hair, so I don't know what they're saying, but it must be some kind of rebellion. It has to do with it, because it's saying something, this is me, and this is who I'm going to be, and I don't care what you think and what your society wants me to be, because I'm not going to be that way. I'm going to be different.
Even in our country, our own first president had long hair. All the first presidents had long hair, so I mean, it's just...
Yeah, but look what they did
that
to
was the
Jesus. He had
trend.
long hair and he was crucified because he was a rebellious person back then. And he was crucified, but he had long hair. He had long hair of the mind.
Do you think that the hair was part of that rebellion, that people saw him as a rebellion?
Yeah, because he was different. He was different. People don't like different. They're afraid of it.
If you know where you came from, you can do anything you want to do. You know, people look at people with all the tattoos or with the whack hairstyles and stuff like that, and they think they're the crazy ones. Actually, the dude that's going down the street with the Vitalis in his hair, you know, and he's got the nice, neat haircut, and he's wearing the three-piece suit and stuff, that's the guy that's scared, you know. He's the one that's too afraid to express himself or be different or anything like that, because he's worried about what people are going to say about him. So he'd rather look like everybody else so nobody says nothing about him. For me, I don't care. I don't care what people say about me. I don't care what they think about me, or, you know, so the hair is just the way I grow it, really. It's just the way it is. At work, we have these little contests between each other all the time. It's every once in a while, instead of betting money, that's what we'll bet. If you lose, you shave your head. And if I lose, I'll shave my head, and I always tell them, no, I'm not going to do that, you know, because I know what I look like with a shaved head. And if you don't like this, you really wouldn't like with the hair cut off. That'd be terrible. I've shaved the rest of my body, though, before.
If I cut my hair right now, I'd be in a very depressive state, because I'm a very meticulous, fussy person, and it's always flipping the hair all the time. You know, you ask anybody I know, they're flipping the hair. Personally, I notice if I have my hair, you know, just hanging down, that I feel more powerful or more sure.
I've told people I will never cut my hair, and one night I left here and I cut my hair, and it was a spur of the moment thing, and now I regret it very, very badly.
I think I would be really sad if I cut my hair, because I would lose some of who I think I am. And it's who I am internally, but then how I express that. So I think there is sort of a Samson kind of strength. And it's not a physical strength, but I think it's the strength in who I am.
You know, I've been thinking about cutting my hair. I've been thinking about it. I would just feel like a regular, normal guy of society when I'm a rocker, man, you know? I mean, that's me. I want the world to know that I'm an artistic musician. And, if long hair symbolizes that for them, then that's fine.
People that stereotype people just about the way their hair looks, I mean, they should get to know the person first, you know? Just because you have long hair doesn't mean you can't be a great golfer, or because you have long hair you can't, you know, be a doctor or whatever. What's the difference? I mean, what's the difference if you have some hair back here?
In a way, it's a haircut that, for some reason, butch lesbians wear it, you know, working class white guys wear it, who would never be caught dead hanging out with lesbians. Lesbians would never be caught dead hanging out with them. But they share this, you know, and to me, that's really kind of neat. That's really kind of interesting. I grew up in Barstow, California, which is working class as you can get in California. Barstow's very, very Latino. You know, perhaps that's where the white guys got their haircut, was from the Latino guys. You know, and maybe that came in from their Native American heritage, or their Native North American heritage. What they have in common, I think, is just they have to be tougher than the average person. You know, to be a lesbian in this culture, you have to be damn tough. To be a working class guy in this culture, I don't care what color you are, you have to be tough.
Yeah, that's a question I wanted to ask you guys. I don't know if you want to put this on tape, but what part of the countries have you been to, and what kind of, what is it you guys are looking for by doing this documentary? What are you looking to see if we're all alike? You know, if there's do we got a gene in us that makes us want to cut our hair this way?
question?
Yeah, sure. What can I do for you?
A documentary about this and that.
About that blue hair?
Here it goes. Just go turning back now.
There's a cat climbing up my ponytail right now.
If there's a definition for this hairstyle, and I should get the credit for it because I designed it, I created it, it's mine.
One word to describe my hairstyle.
Okay, the one word would be current.
I would say unique.
Absurd.
Phenomenal. Phenomenal, that's it.